All right, we'll go ahead and call to order the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. And we'll go ahead with roll call.
Steve Dyer. Ryan Green.
Here.
Kristen Hurst.
Here.
Kyle Cook.
Here.
Elsa Lanzewski.
Here.
All right, I didn't see it on here, but we'll do the pledge real quick. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will go ahead and move on to public comments that are not on tonight's agenda. We do have one speaker slip, Kimberly Hughes. If you could please come up to the microphone.
I am just here hoping to use my 3 minutes to get answers. I came last 2 weeks, squeezed in what I could. I left documentation as well as the remainder of my speech. Was told that the board would review it and I would be contacted within those 2 weeks, and I have heard nothing. So I'm just calling, I'm standing up here to see if I can get answers to the questions I left.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming in tonight. Do we have anything from our staff that is new on this?
No, so, as you know, Terry, our zoning compliance officer, only works 3 days a week, and he's out, obviously, on Thursdays and Fridays. So relayed the information to Terry, gave him the packet, said, hey, can you look into this? There's a narrative that goes along with it, and then prepare a summary back to me on what your thoughts are relative to the information that was submitted. So Terry has not had the opportunity to do that yet. I didn't want to reach out to the resident prior to having that information from Terry. So hopefully by the end of this week, we'll be able to reach out. But yeah, there's just staff limitations really at this point, so.
All right, so if we don't have anything.
Where do we stand if it doesn't have, I was given 3 minutes up here, and then I was given 48 hours and threatened with a $1,000 fine every single day and a misdemeanor. And now the city has had 2 weeks, and now I'm being asked for another one. At what point, at the end of this week, who's held accountable? Who do I call and contact so I can get some answers? I just don't feel like that's very fair.
You can definitely reach out to us, continue to reach out. That's the best way to get the answers. We just need time to process it. With a part-time zoning enforcement team, it is tough, and I definitely understand. I would want answers myself if it was my house. I totally get it. So continue to reach out to us, and we will get back to you as soon as we have an answer. All right, is there other public comment that is not on the agenda tonight? All right, we'll move on to approval of the minutes from May 27th, 2025. Make a motion to approve as written.
I second.
There's a second, all in favor?
Aye.
That's fine. I was gonna
I'll
do-
abstain since I
Oh,
wasn't
Oh,
here.
sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
With
Should I
one
just abstain?
abstention.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right. So we'll move on to application 53125, zoning map amendment, 11076, 11718, 11662, 11820, 11850, Green Chapel Road. And the application, we'll go ahead and bring our applicant up, and if our staff could give us the background on this.
Sure can. Thank you for asking. So a little bit of a hiccup on this particular application. Internally, it was not submitted digitally, which isn't the applicant's fault, but it was submitted physically. So long story short, and get to the punchline, connecting with Teresa on Friday, I said, I don't believe planning and zoning has anything. And she said, oh, we do. And I said, what might that be? And so she obviously brings the packet. She supposed, rightfully so, usually Aaron and I communicate digitally, and it was along, as well as Trevor. So anyhow, for this particular application, she assumed that we had it and that we had already reviewed it. She said, where's the staff report? I said, I don't have a staff report. I haven't received the information yet. She said, well, it's sitting on my desk. So with that said, I connected with the applicant prior to the meeting tonight. And course of action that I'm going to recommend, if the applicant is agreeable to this, would be we as staff would like the opportunity to review this a little bit further, but in accordance with our ordinances and the time that's specified in the public notice sections and everything else, we do need to have a public hearing tonight. So certainly we can open it up to public hearing, hear those public comments, but then in our ordinance, it allows for us to have 30 days within this board to make a recommendation. If the applicant is agreeable to that and would like to request that, I will leave that into his purview. So, and Aaron, if I missed anything and misspoke, please correct me.
That's great. Aaron Underhill, 8,000 Walton Parkway in New Albany, attorney for the applicant. Sean's being too kind. I bear some responsibility for not getting this in the right way, probably. But anyway, here we are. No issues with tabling it, and certainly willing to come back at your next meeting. Given that you don't have really much in front of you in terms of staff feedback, I'll just say that this application is being made based on 3 pending annexations of property along the perimeter of the existing plan district. And as we've done previously, we're coming in and adding those into the PD district and sort of filling in some missing teeth. You'll also notice as you get further into this that we are modifying some internal boundary lines to create more opportunity for economic development and industrial type uses. Certainly be much better to have more context, but I'm just kind of teeing it up for next time that those were our goals. So we'll go into some greater depth the next time, but I think a lot of positives in terms of where we're going with this, and certainly amenable to the tabling this evening.
And so that I don't get in trouble with Teresa, she did talk to me about the public notice, and that did go out. So she is not to blame for this either, and I don't want her throwing anything at me at the office tomorrow. So again, simple communication internally, and we'll figure it out.
And Mr. Green, I would add that, you'll have a public hearing tonight, but given that the public, to the extent they're here, people that are interested, my recommendation would be to also continue the public hearing, just because if people want to speak once they have more information, I think that's only fair. So, okay.
Yes, I do appreciate the public for coming out tonight. A lot of times we don't get public participation, so I commend you guys for coming out tonight. Do we have anything that you'd like to discuss at this point, or no? Any visual representations, aids, things that we can put up,
For us,
enter into the record, other than what's in here?
just what's in here from the application, staff at this time, again, we would like to properly review it, and if possible, and it's not uncommon, if we do have additional questions prior to the next meeting, we'll reach out to the applicant just to clarify and get some confirmation on question marks that we have. But Trevor was also out on vacation a little bit he tried to be out on vacation last week, but that didn't work out so well for him. So when he came in Monday and saw my email and bombarded with other meetings, it was a scramble. So this is what we came up with, so.
All right, well, with that, so we don't have to table this then technically, we can just continue the public discussion. I don't know if legally we have to table this, or just stop the 30 days from ticking.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is that 30 days is for our benefit, and if we're kind of waiving I don't care how you couch it necessarily. I just want to make sure that we're not shortchanging the public in terms of their ability to react to more information. So.
I think they get even more, so they're gonna see it tonight, they'll take a look, if they're unsure, they can come back at the next meeting, take
Right.
another look at it and ask their questions. So,
Whether it's tabled or continued, I think it's irrelevant as long as we.
yeah, just
keep
from a
that-
legal standpoint on our side, I don't know if we need to table this or not.
I don't think so. I think,
It's gonna be like a second reading, so it's
yeah,
like-
and obviously the board has the ability to do as they wish. So it's really in your purview. Our recommendation to you would be to not make any type of action on this particular item tonight. And then if you felt that you needed to make some type of action, our follow-up recommendation would be that to table it would be the action. But
Right.
in accordance with where we're at, you can simply, within your board's purview, say, we want to think on this and have our 30 days to review it further.
All right. Well, with that, we will, at the applicant's request, think on it and review further next time. All right.
Do we need
Oh,
to,
do
we
you-
need to have the public.
Definitely,
hearing,
yeah.
Because it was advertised.
So just the public comment.
Just opening the floor to public.
So we will
hearing.
open for
Yeah.
public comment,
Correct.
if there's any public comment on this. We can get your questions in the record. If you please approach the podium there and state your name for us.
My name's Shelley Reitzel, and I'm just a little confused as to everything going on around me. I live at 10902 Green Chapel, which is across the street from all the houses that are previously. And I'm unclear, is it New Albany or is it Johnstown? Because I'm just, I don't know.
I can jump in
Yeah, if we
and
could-
clarify the question.
Yeah,
Sure.
if we could, I don't know. if
I'm
you
just
wanna
like,
give
so
your
many
address
rumors are
out,
going
but-
around, yeah.
I know where you live.
Not knowing where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said
Right.
10902. 10902.
So
Okay.
That's way off.
your question, just to clarify, is the,
Is the property we're talking about, or are you talking?
is
Well,
this
I'm just
area that
talking
we're-
about everything in general. Like, I thought that it was that side of Green Chapel, the Intel side was New Albany, but are you guys trying to,
So it's basically splitting on the road itself. This in particular, and I don't know if you have a copy of this or.
Still on the north side of Mink, right?
Yeah.
So Green Chapel being along here.
the dividing
is the
line.
city of New Albany on this side with the Intel side. Johnstown is the opposite side of the road.
so, okay,
Northern
where
side.
am I? I'm on the corner, so where's that?
I believe you're over here, is what I just pulled up, because this is Intel right here. Sorry.
Oh, well, that's, okay, so that's me here on this side, or that's?
Because you're technically in the township.
Yeah, so I'm on this side.
Jersey Township wants.
So is this side then New
So
Albany?
Johnstown comes all the way over to here now.
Okay.
This line is all city of Johnstown.
Oh, so that's gonna be Johnstown too
Yeah.
then, okay.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, who knows what all of this is? This is still the township. Johnstown has not annexed any of
Can I
this.
see a copy of that, or?
Oh,
It
yeah.
is, I was gonna say, it's
It's,
available. on
it's
the
a public
site.
document, so it's on our website, but we could also, if you wanna give Teresa your
You can
information.
have mine.
I was gonna say, she can have mine, too. I don't need it right now.
Beginning when they first came in.
I got it, Teresa.
Down there by the cemetery. And they said, I signed something where they were request, like if we wanted to go commercial. And I had said yes to that, and a bunch of other people did too. So I didn't know what was
Oh, that
going.
was for the township?
Yeah, there's
probably
two differences in there. So
Okay.
because you're in the township,
She wants.
that would have been related to the township itself.
Okay,
So the
all right.
township. is
Okay.
trying
Yeah,
to-
Johnstown
So,
has not done anything in terms of annexing or had anyone present themselves to want to be annexed into Johnstown from there.
So is the water then?
There's a lot to be determined.
Yeah, there's still a lot going on.
If you're on the New Albany side, it's figured out, but if you're on the Johnstown.
I'm on the
side, it's a
Johnstown
lot
side.
easier than there.
Okay.
So,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, thank you. All right, other public comment?
On this. Right? Because
Yes,
we gotta
correct.
table this, yeah.
Correct.
You don't have to.
We don't
Well,
have to
I
take
said the
it.
wron word, yeah.
We know what you meant. We got you. All right, well, hearing no other public comment, we'll go ahead and close public comment. And as I said before, we will take a look at this for the next 30 days and get back to you.
Be on the 24th of June, will be the next
Less than 30 days.
hearing. And at that time, we'll have a staff report, and we'll be able to connect with the applicant. And then we'll have another public comment.
I think just making sure that the action is taken within the 30 days is the important thing. So if we come back at the next meeting, that'll be plenty of time, so.
So, excuse me, so that's when we're gonna find out if it's gonna be commercial or agriculture then?
So this is just for the application here.
Yeah, so just in order to be included in an application, a property owner has to give their consent, so your property is not involved in
Right,
this.
yeah.
And, but yes, there'll be a determination of whether the proposed uses on these particular properties are appropriate, and this board would make a recommendation to city council.
You'll see with these two copies that you have is that there's some, I'll make it easier because I like to understand in simple terms, is that the blue is getting a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And then there's, I believe it's 5 properties right down the bottom here that are now owned by New Albany Company or New Albany Land Company, whichever
link.
name they've put it under at this point. So they own those properties. There is one still outstanding, but they are looking at basically getting those into the PD as they have in the past when they acquire the additional adjacent properties.
Shelley, if you want to reach out to me, there's a lot of information, and I know, I think where you're coming from, you've heard a lot of conversation from the township, and I think that's where you're getting wires crossed. I will do everything in my power to uncross those wires so that you can understand the landscape before you as it relates to agricultural zoning, township, municipal zoning, the provisions of water and sewer as it relates to that area. But I can certainly do that offline to give you some clarity there. It probably won't be as difficult to do, but I don't want to occupy the board's time. And I think I know what you're kind of requesting or asking, and I think I can give you some pretty, at least clarity on that.
I think, wasn't that part of like the entertainment district on that area over there too?
What's that?
There was like an entertainment district that they were,
Well, you've got Jersey Township. It's kind of a corners of sorts. You've got Jersey Township to the south, you've got Monroe on the north, and both have different comprehensive plans and also conflicting comprehensive plans with their movements on said properties, so.
yeah, like you said, there's a lot.
I know.
All right. Well, feel free to come back to the next one.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have more info for you in the meantime.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll move on to the zoning inspector report for May. Any questions on that?
There's a lot of high grass, but the grass
Yeah.
has been growing really fast.
Oh,
so-
grass is insane. I can tell you firsthand. And when you mow it, it's back longer.
Probably
next
up
week.
in a
Doesn't
week.
matter.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, there are some properties out there that are knee high. So we do have to investigate some, bring those into compliance. Other than that, any other business? All right, we'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
In favor of
Oh, wait, we needed to open up, do we need to open up a public comment?
No, there's just one thing on the.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.